Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. It is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is time for some GRLCS action, and not just any kind of action. It is our gold bracket Gauntlet semifinals. Semifinals?
I think so. Maybe?
We're placing the quarterfinals. Okay, I don't know how playoffs works this split. I'm just a boomer who's been here for too long. I am everyone's favorite young boomer, Vid, joined here by Asami, and we're in here for some last-minute gaming versus the Dirty Diet Boys.
Yeah. Sorry, I got caught off guard because I was talking about wanting to see an Ezreal pick in this game earlier, and it unironically went to the team that I would love to see it on. Ezreal being picked out, and now the Diana as well for last minute Goons.
Yeah, already an interesting draft. The Ezreal and the Thresh picked up. I'm surprised that Thresh is such high priority here for LMG. First picking it and then giving up what I consider to be a very strong pick in the Nocturne, even after all of those Stride Breaker nerfs. And now the Varus Hover, the Varus Lock for the last minute Goons.
Yeah, this is a interesting first round to go for the pick ban phase. The Varus, still a terror in the bot lane, but with the Thresh, kind of seems like, I don't know, first picking the Thresh just showed exactly what they were wanting to go, quite possibly, but then now with Nautilus, it's kind of like a hook for hook counter.
Yeah, hook for hook, and you've got one of the safest, or the safest ADC in the game in Ezreal. It's going to make it a lot harder for LMG to lock anyone down in this bot lane. Thresh is just tanky enough, he can Spider-Man away. Ezreal is Ezreal. You have to catch him off guard before he can even, before you can even lock him down. But it looks like mid laner bans are being traded now with the Sylas and the Corki. Now the Aatrox taken away from last minute Goons.
Yeah, give some respect to the good old top laner of the LMG. Guess his Aatrox just the most terrifying threat in the world. I haven't seen it, to be honest, but I do like the ban of the Aatrox and Gwen as well. Oh.
Yeah, what I consider to be a more traditional strong ban, just making sure that Dirty Diet Boys can't hold that last counter pick. But the set is gonna be slammed here for Bubba Gumps, I assume. Could be some of that spicy set mid, pulling that back from the Korea days.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a flex pick, bringing out the set. Mordekaiser, I guess Mordekaiser also being a flex, although I do believe he'll probably go into the top lane here. So I think we'll see top lane Mord versus set.
Last pick coming in for LMG in the next couple of seconds. Yeah, they've probably picked that Mordekaiser into the set, and now, yeah, locking it in. We know where they're all going. The Syndra coming here into the mid lane.
The mid lane threat that can just one-shot you with just hitting a QE followed with the R. And wait, that's a Nico, right?
That is a Nico. That will be a very interesting mid lane matchup to watch.
I guess they're saying if you want to go ahead hit a 4-man ulti, we'll have Nico hit a pretty big ulti as well. Good. I guess that's kind of a good answer to the Diana jungle. So I like that. I like that kind of response.
Yeah, we've got some solid dive on the side of Dirty Diet Boys. Not only do they have, of course, the paranoia, and then and then the follow-up Nautilus engage. Set coming in, probably going to be able to either pull Mordekaiser out of the fight, force that ultimate, something along those lines, and then Nico with that huge team fighting ultimate. And Ezreal, like, every time you have a huge dive comp like this, you always want to look for a safe self-peel ADC, and I think Ezreal fits that bill perfectly for DDB here.
Yeah, and not to mention that if you're looking at the side of LMG, you got 3 people that want to go in, and 2 people that are gonna have to peel for themselves. And with the Nocturne pick, it's kind of just saying if they go all in, Nocturne can go ahead and use that ultimate of his and just dive straight onto the Varus or onto the Syndra, and right from there, it could go downhill because if the ADC goes out early, then you're kind of relying on the Syndra. If Mordecai was unable to kill someone in his good old Shadow Realm, and with Diana, it's kind of hit or miss with her ultimate.
Yeah, I think it's a much more comfort pick game here for LMG. They had something going on there with the Thresh of Eris. I don't think it's very good in that 2v2, but then after that, you kind of you're taking conflicting signals here. The Diana really wants to go in and get that big combo off, and there's not really many targets for her to do it against, with everyone wanting to go into her own backline. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser turns you into a 1v1. I think Syndra's the only one that's just kind of like a plug-and-play champion. You just want to burst down Nico. You just want to burst down Ezreal. Like, you can't arcane shift away from an unleashed power.
That is very true, and not to mention that if Ezreal does end up getting stunned or hooked, then right from there, Ezreal's out, and that puts a lot of more pressure onto the Nico, onto the Set and Nocturne, and it's just from there, just have to figure out how you're gonna be able to take out 1-for-1, because Mordekaiser probably is gonna aim for the Ezreal if he doesn't arcane shift, or for the Nico, so that Diana does have that full clear in. But I think both sides have a pretty strong, just a really strong game in general. It's just gonna come down to what I believe is just who can make the less mistakes and capitalize off of the objectives.
Yeah, I think if Nocturne gets strong on the side of Dirty Diet Boys, this turns into a very hard game for Last Minute Goons to win. On the other hand, if Last Minute Goons gets Varus ahead, then depending on which build he's playing, this becomes much harder for Dirty Diet Boys. They will have to, if he's playing the poke, they're going to have to, force engages on him. And as long as LMG plays around their 2 main carries well, they can play a much cleaner game. I think either way, the Dirty Diet Boys, no matter what happens this game, Dirty Diet Boys are going to be playing a much faster and dirtier comp. They're gonna have to force things either way.
Yes, and with DDB gonna be forced to do that, it's gonna put, I think, just a little bit more pressure onto Pachatory and Captain Whiff in the bot lane. I mean, as you said, the poke bar is probably what we're gonna see here. So if it is the poke bars, it's gonna be quite the threat. They want to keep him down and out throughout most of this early game. So I expect probably Mac, what he'll do, stay in that top side for a start and then come down. And if Pachatory and Captain Whiff just let them push, they'll probably be able to at least get Red Door down a flash or something to at least get as far as behind and then apply more pressure so that they can do like tower dives or just anything to keep Red Door from becoming this massive threat that is the poke bars.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Mac does with his clear here. You said, starting with that red side. I like the Nocturne here on the red side because he does have a pretty rough gank, rough gank pathing early. But with the Nautilus, you kind of fast track that, especially against Varus and Thresh, who both, aren't super mobile aside from the Dark Passage. Then Ezreal can get in pretty easily. Nocturne, he's got that fear, and if he manages to gank at level 3 when the bot lane of Last Minute Goons is level 2, Yeah, as you said, even if he can get a flash, I think that's super worth for securing Ezreal a nice lane where he can kind of counter poke Varus before he gets any of those lethality items, and the Nautilus can go for pot shots on the Varus and hopefully be able to get something here for Dirty Diet Boys. Last Minute Goons is playing a much more defensive game early.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I don't think we've touched on yet is the Diana jungle, for what they're gonna have to do on the side of LMG. Diana jungle early on, if she's gonna be put behind early on, it's gonna get very difficult for Plethora. And this is just because of the fact that, you're hopping onto Nocturne, he has a spell shield, he can just fear you, he can start getting those auto attacks off and just damaging the living daylights out of your jungle or your jungler. And if Plethora is forced away from camps, has camps taken away, and is immediately starts falling down a level behind, 2 levels behind, then it becomes a lot trickier because now you have a Nocturne who is probably level 6 to your Diana who's level 5 still, or Nocturne who's just pushing away your main source of engage while getting more and more fed. And that is a very scary situation for LMG. I do want to know if it's going to be Plethora looking for invades to sneak in like some Krug, sneak in maybe a Gromp or 2 or something like that, or if Mac is going to take advantage of Diana's early game, just full on say, look, I can 1v1 you, I can just force you away, and if waves are pushed in, their team can just come up and they can even force Plethora away even more.
Yeah, it seems like Last Minute Goons across the board, they're going to be a little more on the back foot as we load into this game. DDB going to come out swinging. They took the match last week to advance into this quarterfinal placement match, but we'll see if they can keep the momentum up. We're here into game as both teams spawn in for Last Minute Goons versus the Dirty Diet Boys.
Yes, and here we go. We will not see the Inferno Drake Soul. And it looks like they're we might be in for a skirmish already. Just starting out, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, this would be a hell of a level 1 fight. Both teams have a hook champ. I think both teams have a very similar level 1. They, with that first ability, we're gonna have to see how it goes. It looks like Dirty Diet Boys are taking the lower path. They kind of want to come around and sneak up behind the Last Minute Goons. A few pings coming in. Looks like they might be coming from Chachi. Both teams dancing on a wire here. Dirty Diet Boys moving
top
forward.
and mid laner went away.
3v5, Captain Whiff, he's got the hook onto Regdor. Regdor pulled in, killed immediately. Captain Whiff going to go very low. Will he go down? He flashes the ignite. Will it be enough? Meanwhile, Chachi loses his life. Bubblegum's going low, but not quite down. Plethora has to flash away. Mac flashes forward, and now Pagans, he's got some damage onto Sabina. Overall, it will stop at a 2-0 in favor of the Dirty Diet Boys.
And remember how we just mentioned, like, not wanting your Varus to fall behind? How about First Blood going to the Ezreal? Of all the things you want, the Ezreal getting the First Blood is probably the last thing you want if you're this bot lane. Like, now Regdor's gonna have to deal with an Ezreal who's gonna have just a small advantage over him. This is not a great start.
Not a great start at all for the Last Minute Goons. Pachatory, however, did not go back and burned both summoners early game, so it is kind of up to Regdor and Sabina here to get as much as they can back before Pachatory hits that level 2. Once he gets that on the Ezreal, it is going to be a lot harder for them to punish him, and, with that extra 400 gold in his pocket, he will have a quick Sheen or a quick Tear, whichever Pachatory decides to go for first.
And you can see they immediately pinged out the chickens just because Plethora had the force flash out, or had his flash forced out, so he had to go from red to Krugs and was immediately having to back because he has no idea where Mac is. So now Mac has all the awareness in the world of where exactly Plethora is, and this is not the most ideal thing you know, that's probably the last thing you want.
Yeah, being forced back that early, you know, the casual 2 camp back, but now Chachi taking a lot of damage. Bubblegum still has the flash available, but he won't go too far. He will not flash forward.
And I think that's just because they know kind of where Plethora is. Plethora not going to the chickens. They immediately knew, like, all right, if she's not there, probably at the blue. And you can already see Mac is making his way over, and Mac well, maybe Mac's gonna go over to him.
Mac looks like he will just be prioritizing that Scuttle Crab instead, although he could be looking to help push in top if Chachi has to go back. He's quite low, doesn't have any of that sustain yet that you love to see on a Mordekaiser. Did get his back reset, so that's more time delayed here. And now the hook in by Captain Whiff. Regdor going to take a couple chunks of damage.
Yeah, this is well, all I can really say currently is just a really good start for Dirty Diet Boys. They have just been kind of, I don't know. It's hard to word exactly what I'm thinking. Just because, I mean, the Ezreal's almost up 10 CS. Cowboys is doing pretty well in his lane.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it a fluke level 1. You can call it early, early cheese that's getting Dirty Diet Boys this advantage. But I mean, if you look at the bot lane, Dirty Diet Boys actually had the summoner spell disadvantage. They used 3 of their 4 summoner spells in that level 1, and Ezreal didn't get to back. This early pressure that they're putting on to last-minute Goons is actually just solely based on the champions they've got and the performance that they're putting up in this bot lane. So they're doing quite well. Bubba Gumps as well in the top side didn't get that back early, so he's, he again is fighting Chachi 1-1 and against Mordekaiser, which is a pretty strong 1v1 champion, even if he is, even if he doesn't look it in this lane.
Yep. Oh. All right. Plethora giving a little bit of a love tap.
We will probably see first backs coming out for both mid laners here. Sitting around that 30-40 CS mark. They will be getting their first component that they'd like, and both of them are out of mana, besides. We do see the hook go wide. Mac has stolen away Raptors from Plethora.
Yep. Oh. Good.
A little bit of an arcane shift. Going to force the heal. Pachatory uses that one. I think he got interrupted by the Flay. Either that or he just didn't have any mana.
I want to say he did get interrupted because it looked awkward just from a normal standpoint. It just did not look right seeing him arcane shift just in place, but knowing where Plethora is, thanks to Plethора's little visit to the mid lane, they kind of knew exactly what they could do. That's an easy first dragon. Now it is going to be the Ocean. Wait, Ocean?
Yep. Ocean Drake second. Kind of what we expected here. That just the early Drake presence here by the stronger 1v1ing jungler, and now Bubba Gumps is in the Death Realm, misses the E. I think that'll be all she wrote for him. Chachi hits that level 6, presses the skill button, and says bye-bye to Set's health bar.
Interesting. That's the only thing I can really say about what we saw there. Bubblegum should have known that there was no way for him to have really come out as a victor in that kind of fight. They know exactly where the jungler could be at. More than likely top side, since Nocturne's been down in the bot for quite a bit of time. So interesting that he decided to try and clear out a ward and just loses his life so easily.
Yeah, and Chachi, I mean, knowing that he can take advantage of Bubba Gumps because, he had the level advantage or the XP advantage there. Bubba Gumps teleported early and then lost a much larger wave, but now Cattle Boys, ooh, dodges away and then respect flashes on the second end as Nautilus roams up. I didn't see any missing pings there.
No. Nope.
Oh, and now Pegans takes advantage of him, knows he doesn't have the flash, and an easy solo kill for the Nico.
That's probably the easiest kill that you'll ever see a Nico get in quite a bit. I mean,
yeah, I mean that was just the solid awareness of cooldowns. You know, seeing OK Cattle Boys flash immediately, you're like, oh, I have flash, he doesn't. I don't even need to use it because this is a Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but you know, once Pagan saw OKC Cattle Boy just get rooted, it's kind of like, oh, well, since you're not going to back away a little more, because I know the CS is very precious, I might as well just go ahead and take this kill for myself, get a small bounty, and make the Nico just a tiny bit more dangerous, and there might be a little bit of a visit. Upside.
Yep.
Nope.
That early Rift Herald is taken off the back of Pegans getting that, that map advantage. No mid laner for last minute Goons does mean that Nocturne can play free on his second epic monster of the game.
Yep, and surprisingly, I haven't seen Plessor get pushed away from NECS. Instead, actually has an experience boost and
Pop Blossom barely going to miss, but it doesn't matter. Cattle Boys just takes too much damage from a Nocturne. SGK Mac just kills him solo.
Yeah, and even though they do get the solo kill, which is great, one small issue: Pagan's flash is now burnt, so now Pegans might have to be just a little more careful.
And now it's a 3v2. A lot of damage coming out, and Plethora dies immediately. Bubba Gumps is tanking, taking damage, dealing damage. Chachi is going to flash the wall, and that just goes horribly for LMG here.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful ulti by Plethora. Does get the 3-man. Only thing is that they're outmanned there, just 3-2. Great job by Bubba Gumps to make sure he does showstopper Diana, and right from there gets rooted, gets targeted, gets taken out, and with no mid laner even around, I mean, Chachi just has to respect it. Knows he's gonna probably die if he doesn't flash over that wall. So great awareness from him, making sure there's no more Fed Nico or Fed Nocturne, even though he 100% could have possibly taken out Bubba Gumps.
Yep, and we are going to see that Stride Breaker completed by Mac. He's going to be this much stronger. A personal gripe, though, I do think that Gore Drinker is actually a little bit better on Nocturne right now, especially with how squishy, or I guess, no, Stride Breaker does go better with how squishy the enemy team is. I will say that. Even Thresh, who, is one of those support tanks, isn't really a true support tank. He's much more, much more catch, much more engage, without any of those traditional tank stats that, say, a Nautilus would get.
Not only that, but if I recall, there is still the slow for 3 seconds. So if he hops on someone, they're more than likely going to be taken out almost immediately by the entirety of the team. So that's probably the plan. Hop on the Varus, slow him, take him out, and then win the team fight.
Yeah, we will see now with that Stride Breaker completed. It will be tons of pressure here. Mac also has his ult back up. It's going to be a lot easier for them to just take down this second Drake. Looks like it will be a Cloud Rift. So a little more move speed, or a little more ultimate haste, and a little bit of movement speed if they manage to get their hands on this soul. 2 Drakes up. They're already in a pretty good position to threaten it.
Yeah, and the Cloud Soul might make Regdor just a little more fearful now of Mac, because if Mac gets that, you have to imagine the amount of times he's going to hear darkness and has a chance to even see the gray screen like a lot more times. It's it's terrifying to think about as an ADC, just an assassin hopping onto you and just taking you out immediately.
And now the 1v1 happening as Bubblegumps runs away, but he will... Chachi will not follow under tower. No, oh, the flash! It catches Patchatory. The flash forward by Sabina. The heal, the flash, the arcane shift will not be enough as Regdor finds a kill, but now he's knocked up. He flashes away. Mac, it's dark, it's scary. Varus is dead. The return kill here for last minute Goons. Mac will have to flash away after a good play by Sabina, but it's a 1-for-1 at the end of all of it.
All I can say, beautiful, beautiful Chains of Corruption by Regdor. I mean, it probably was not what he was expecting, but the second Patchatory got caught by it, it was just the easiest kill for Regdor to get. And
Plethora might be caught here, has the flash, will have to use the... Oh, the lantern! The lantern blocked by the ward. Plethora will finally get around to it, and now Pagans trying to get some damage off, will get the stun onto Sabina, now stunned up. That's the ultimate coming out from Diana. Pagans going low. That is the stopwatch here for Captain Whiff. Plethora running for his life, but it won't be enough. He dashes away, but just to his death. Okay, Cowboys will flash as well. Captain Whiff going low, but he is very much alive.
And that is the kind of response you want from your team. I mean, Sabina did all he could to keep Plethora alive for such a long amount of time. And, you know, even though great ward placement to stop the Lantern pick, Plethora was able to get away, but only for that small amount of time. Pagans falls, and right when you think Plethora has a chance of escaping, here comes the Ezreal, who's afraid of nothing, and they're able to secure at least one more kill. So good responses by both sides, really. But if I'm the other side, I think I like my trade overall. I mean, Cowboys got the shutdown, I believe, on Pagan, so pretty nice.
Yeah, if you're LMG, you are happy that you're actually getting something back for that. You know, basically in terms of raw gold that you put up and gave on the map, you traded even. And that went to your Syndra. It's going to be a lot easier to maybe survive the 1v1, although Mac is pretty damn determined to keep it from being that. Plethora still has not really hit any kind of stride here. Now Chachi walks in again and pulls in Bubblegumps and just can't follow up on it. Just not tanky enough, and now the flash back into the tower. Chachi taking a lot of damage there. Here comes the haymaker. Bubblegumps commits the flash, and ooh, Chachi with a bonk for the solo.
The good old look away.
Yeah, and then this is what we expected after Mordekaiser stays too long.
Low health bar?
Yeah.
Go ahead, give me it. Mac does not care if you have a Breva Vest or not. He's gonna go in. I mean, the low health bars are what assassins will take every day of the week. So, good by him. But we do see Plethora moving around.
Yeah, now Plethora will do some damage, but Mac will cleanse that damage. Plethora now on the run. Mac will be able to burn him down. Unstoppable. 5-0 for this Nocturne. And now the...
Yeah, you...
Oh, nope. Gonna be knocked away.
Yeah. It looked like it could have gone just right, but... I mean, Mac using his spell shield at the right time to at least nullify the second part of damage coming out. I mean, I don't really know if it's a outplay more than just Mac knowing that, you know, I'm fed, I have more items, I can just beat her no matter what happens.
Yeah, either way there, I don't think Plethora just has enough damage to burst him, and now Sabina walks in blind, has to flash away. Pagan's trying to chase down, but okay, Cowboys is here. Ooh! Guardian saves that Thresh's life as the third Drake of the game goes over to DDB.
I mean, Dance Dance Diet Boys Revolution?
I mean, that's a good way to keep your diet healthy, you know, you're just dancing. And
I
now
mean,
Chachi will find this turret, but will he overstay? Peggins is coming up, and Peggins is 3-1, so this might go poorly for the Mordekaiser. Captain Whiff around the wall. There's the knock-up. Pull the teleport here from OK Cowboys. Captain Whiff starting to walk away, dodging away from everything, and now just dancing here at the edge of the Death Realm. He gets out, he flashes, and now Pachatory coming in. The flash forward by Peggins. He will find OK Cowboys. Oh, Chachi goes down, and Whiff lives. Peggins now chasing down the Syndra. Doesn't have the mana, but here comes Mac. Mac is back, baby, and Peggins will take the kill onto the Syndra.
yeah, Peggins almost trades his life there as well, but one thing do have to point out, that was almost a guaranteed kill on Captain Whiff, but Cowboys ended up.
Oh, Ragdoor with the flash away will get some damage off on the Bubba Gumps. The Haymaker comes through, does 370 damage, but now slowed down again. Unfortunately, Ragdoor cannot make that kill happen.
Yeah, I mean, good job by Bubba to force out the flash and to change the corruption. So, I mean, overall, you could say Bubba kind of did his job, you know, forced out some key things on the Lethal Varus. So can't be too upset about it. What I was going on about before, the little push that we saw.
Oh, Plethora. Oh, man, why'd you even flash? That doesn't go well for you. Pachatory with his 3rd kill of the game.
Yeah, remember that small talk we were having earlier about, you know, putting pressure onto the Diana and then just making sure that her jungle is no longer hers? This is that.
Yep.
This is that.
Yep, that checks out. And now Chachi, he has the Death Realm, but I don't think he can really even stand up against these 3 members of the Dirty Diet Boys. He's going to take some damage, and the turret is going to go very low here as DDB pushes the minions in. They've got some damage. They've gotten Ezreal. Sabina is here for moral support only.
Not only that, but Peggins was actually roaming up as well, so they had to back away. Just knowing that if they stick around, more than likely, they not just lose the tower, but they probably end up losing 2 lives, probably of Chachi and of Sabina. So good of them to recognize we're in no position to try and hold a tower here. And they've Tarfuse.
Captain Whiff just tossing his ultimate out there. It is a fairly long cooldown still for this Nautilus, but it's perfectly fine with him. No one's really fighting on the map right now. DDB have found themselves in a very comfortable spot. 5,000 gold almost in the lead. They're on Soul Point. They're just biding their time here for the next 1.5 minutes until Dragon comes up. They know they can win team fights. They got 3 fed carries, and they're just waiting. They want to get that soul. They want to push LMG to match point. Are these best of 3s or best of 5s at this point in the bracket?
I believe these are still the best of 3s.
Okay, still a best of 3 tonight. So what they want to push LMG to match point. They're looking to get to these quarterfinals here, and it's looking pretty good for them in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you can see right now the only thing that Last Minute Goons can do is just try and, you know, scale up as much as possible. But I don't know how much that will do to help them out in the long run. I mean, the Nico has her 2 items already. Ezreal, I feel like Ezreal probably has the strongest late game ADC wise. Mine is like, you know, maybe hyper carry Jinx or something like that. But you know, a fed Ezreal with a Sunderer almost a full mana immune. Not lovely. Now it's all just a Pop Blossom True Shot Barrage, and more than likely you're down.
Do have DDB. They are slow on the punch. We've got Last Minute Goons setting up here around this dragon. They want to force DDB to come to them. I'm not sure how well that'll work when they're split up as 3. Captain Whiff going pretty low. Mac, he pops the Paranoia. Are they going to catch him out? Yes, Regdor is caught. A lot of damage, and Bubblegums takes the kill. That's a 2-man ult, but not enough. 2 quick kills here as DDB just waits it out, waits for LMG to split themselves, and takes advantage of the confusion.
Yeah, you can see, like, on the map, there's a lot of pings going on, and you can see that it looked like there's just a lot of discommunication going on. They had no idea where they were gonna fight, and they were just so away from one another that it was just way too tough. And that might be another pick. Oh no, never mind.
A couple of missed skill shots on all sides, and no one dies here. But it is a 5v3 around this inner turret. We've got Pachatory right here. He's throwing pot shots. He's looking for stuff. He will dodge away from that death sentence.
Yeah, but there's just discommunication going on. I mean, 3 members were all forced up by the death charge of Captain Whiff, and because of that, the Paranoia was able to come in and immediately are able to see Regdor. They're able to see that Plethora are away from the tanks and the mage, so they just say, all right, we're just gonna wait. Chain of Corruption went out, now we push the engage, and they immediately went straight on to Regdor. Regdor's popped almost instantly, so now Plethora is like, well, I have to try and do something, maybe at least get 1 return kill, but she's only able to get 2 people into the ultimate, so it's not the full max value that you want coming from the Moonfall, or yeah, the Moonfall. So it's just kind of 3 members out of a fight, and they're just saying, well, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, and last minute Goons, I mean, they lost the early game on, on individual play. They lost, they kind of got jungle gapped a little bit by Mac. They lost that early fight. Overall, just like CS was going a little bit better for Dirty Dia Boys, and now Bubba Gumps is taking a lot of damage. He is not pulled into the death realm just yet. Bubba Gumps taking a lot of damage, and he will go down, but now all of Dirty Dia Boys has jumped right on top of last minute Goons. They're going to take down Sabina. They're going to take down Regdor. Plethora, he used his ult. He used his flash. There's not much else for him to do. Captain Whiff will go down, but it's only 2 down for the side of DDB and 4 for the side of LMG. Pagans chasing down now. They're trying to find Chachi for a nice clean ace. They will not get him, but they get the fight.
Yeah, and once again, just 1 member not being around the others doesn't use his little old realm of death to try and get Pachatory or Pagans away, and SGK, again, paranoia's right after they see where Chachi is, and they go all in. Great depth charge by Captain Whiff. I believe he knocked up 2 or 3 people with it as well, so they're able to go just full all in. And Pagans, I don't even know if he ultied in the early stage of that fight, but I mean, they're just able to get the full clean wipe, and by the time Chachi comes back from the Shadow Realm, he's looking around, and all he can say is, I did my job, I took out 2 people.
And unfortunately for Chachi, those 2 people were the 2 weakest members of DDB. His job as a Mordekaiser, when his team is this far behind, you just have to take one of the strong guys out of the fight and cross your fingers. You're probably going to die to Pachatory if you pull him in. You're probably going to die to Mac if you pull him in. But you got to try. You got to hope for your team to be able to win a 4v4. However slim those chances are, as now DDB pushes ahead to about a 6,500 gold lead. They've got that Cloud Soul. They've got about 2 minutes until the Elder Drake comes up. They're looking real good in this game, and all 3 of their carries are absolutely massive.
And one thing that I just want to point out, I mean, who exactly is Chachi going to try and take? I mean, SGK? I mean, SGK is probably just going to spell shield. So that's probably one person that he doesn't want. He's going to try and get Pachatory. Pachatory just going to arcane shift away every time. So even if he pulls them in, all it comes down to is poke, WQ, WQ, arcane shift away. That's all I got to do as an Ezreal. And then Pagan's just going to root him, run away, Zanya's. I mean, there's really not a whole lot for Chaozu to try and do. I mean, I guess stall time for the main members, but other than that, Chaozu's just kind of left there, just wondering what more can he do other than just stall the time and maybe even end up dying.
Yeah, there's not much in general that last minute Goons can do right now. DDB is playing so safe around these objectives. They're taking these, they're taking these fights that they know that they can win. They're waiting for these objectives to come up, and they're not really giving a chance for anyone to come back into this game. We see 0-6-2 on Plethora, 1-4-1 on Cattle Boys, 1-4-2 on Regdor. Contrast that to how the jungler, mid laner, and ADC are doing on the side of Dirty Diet Boys, and they're playing. I would say they're not playing the perfect game. They're playing it pretty damn close. They are minimizing the mistakes they make at this position of advantage.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do. Don't give any chance, any slim hope to the other side. If you give a shutdown over to Plethora, over to Cattle or Regdor, that's bad. That's just bad news there. So them just playing safe, making sure no thing.
And now, team fight coming in. Pagan's getting a lot of ult off. He's going to get 2 with it, and now Sabina has to flash away. There goes Regdor as well. Cattleboy's going to go for a third as Mac dives into the back of the fight. Bubblegum takes the fight to an ace from the Shadow Realm, and it is clean here for DDB. They are going to push it in, break this base, and look for an end. And there goes the surrender.
Yeah, knowing when to raise the white flag. The other side just way too strong. Too many mistakes, really, on the side of last minute Goons. And they just couldn't try and claw back in, not with a Fed Ezreal, not with, Mac being so far ahead as well. And Pagans, he just knew the right time to ultimate when to push inside for a good capitalization of positioning. So they were able to just full on take the wins every time.
Yeah, the early game comp, the better 1v1 jungler, that global map presence with the paranoia, managing to split out last minute Goons, managing to pick them off one by one, and pulling ahead of the game. DDB will go up 1-0 in this series, but we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to see if last minute Goons can battle it back and bring us to 3. So don't go anywhere. And welcome back. We're here with the draft for Game 2 of the Dirty Diet Boys versus the Last Minute Goons. Last game, Dirty Diet Boys ran away with the early game and then just slammed it home, forced to surrender in the end, and now they're here on the blue side, trying to close this one out in 2 quick games.
Yep, and immediately the respect ban on the Nocturne, also banning away the Tristana, which we did see in the last game that Dirty Eye Boys played. They chose Tristana, I believe. They chose Tristana twice, played it very well, so pretty good bans there to just make sure that you have no split pusher. And strong jungler incoming, Xin Zhao.
Yeah, I don't think Dirty Diet Boys were, or I don't think Last Minute Goons were quite considering. They gave up the, they gave up the Nocturne, left that one open, did not first pick it when they were on blue side last game, and now you have to leave up one of the 2 strong junglers if you're gonna keep your threat or your Tristana and your Karma bans. But they are going to answer it with a similarly strong jungler. We already see the Xin Zhao versus Viego matchup here for Game 2.
Yeah, and wow, that was the fastest lock-in. Ezreal Galio immediately. So kind of becomes a little bit tougher now for Viego. If this is jungle Viego, there is a possibility it's top lane Viego, which I've seen a lot more than jungle. But I would not be surprised if it is the response to Xin Zhao. However, now it gets a lot tougher. If you're going in, you have Galio to respond back.
Yeah, you have Galio to respond to. You have that Xin Zhao ultimate once we get to level 6. But the Ezreal does prove a pretty spicy pickup if you can get a kill on him. He, his ultimate is not, I'd say, the strongest, so Viego really doesn't care about that. You just want all of those 3 spells, all of those cooldown reductions. The Caitlyn and the Leona locked in for the bot lane of Last Minute Goons. They know what they want to play. They want to play lane bullies, turning it around from that weaker early game that we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, and, having the Caitlyn, having the Leona, that's just CC, crit, dead. That's all that bot lane is, so do like how they decide to give a champion that's pretty strong early on with just CCing and locking down. And Shen. All right.
We are playing a much more unified comp than last time. Last Minute Goons saw where they were lacking. We criticized the draft last game about that. The Mordekaiser, the Diana, and the Varus all doing very different things from each other. And I think they're trying to shore that one up. Shen will be there if Caitlyn ever needs it.
Yeah, I mean, this is perfect. Technically, it's perfect. Shen has a beautiful ultimate that can save your ADC, that can save just about anyone. Minus the support. If support goes in, I think they're just going to say, all right, we need to keep the others protected. But at the same time, good response on the other side. Camille LeBlanc. That's scary. That's just downright scary to think about.
And really looks like Dirty Diet Boys are picking 5 individual champions this game. You've got a very strong jungler in the Xin Zhao, pretty strong independent ADC for the Ezreal. Galio just kind of does Galio things. He's not too much of a support. He's not too much of a good support pick nowadays, but I'm interested to see how this plays out with Captain Whiff. And then just the 2 fighter the fighter in the top, the assassin in the mid. They aren't doing things as a team so much as they are all jumping on the enemy team at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at this kind of draft for really both sides, you see one side, keep everyone protected, have Twisted Fate as a way to see where everyone is, especially this LeBlanc, who's probably going to be getting crafty, looking for ways to sneak behind the team and then, really pop the Caitlyn. But overall, looking at this side, LMG, you see what they want. DDB, you can kind of tell they're just looking for, we take out one and we're going to try and just take it all. that is what it seems like your game plan is.
Yeah, LMG, like the scales have flipped here. LMG has a unified comp. They know what they're doing. They have a very kind of front to back protect the Caitlyn, let Twisted Fate go for picks, and Viego is just going to kind of do stuff in the middle of it. Dirty Diet Boys, one lane has to win, pretty much. You know, two lanes win ideally, but at the end of the day, if one of them wins, all of the rest of them can kind of piggyback off of that, get in the backpack, and just get fed from everyone. But that looks like a Twisted Fate top lock here for Chachi. They may be switching. They may be swapping, for certain.
Oh. Yeah, I think we might be seeing Chachi taking the mid lane and Cattle taking the top. Not sure. Maybe there's just a way to kind of stop Camille. Just like every time she walks up, punish her. Since a Camille that's not getting any CS, not getting as fed, is a very sad one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this were just because I think Cattle Boys is a top laner at heart, and Shen is one of his signatures. So I would not be surprised if they put Chachi on, on mid lane duty. Just give him the Twisted Fate and say, hey, look, man, if someone screams your name, hit R. Which, frankly, is what Cattle Boys is doing as well. It's just that Chachi has to build a rapid fire cannon at some point.
Yeah, I mean, rapid fire has to be built. That ultimate is probably only going to be used early on trying to figure out where Pagans is. If they do not zone in where Pagans is the second he leaves lane, you're probably going to end up losing your ADC because Caitlyn left alone when the Leona goes in is a very squishy one, very dead ADC to an ADC that can just 100 to 0 you like the LeBlanc.
Yep, this will be a game where where Chachi will have to play, the where's LeBlanc game. What lane is she roaming to? How quickly can I get there? Is my ult up? Will I take teleport? Will I take unsealed spellbook? These are all questions that I'm asking out loud, and these are all questions that Chachi will have to answer before we get into game here.
Yeah, and we have a little bit more time, around 3.5 minutes, so we can just zero down more on the two comps, which all I have to say is if one team's going all in, I think Captain Whiff has a pretty good response to it. I mean, Galio, I feel like, was just picked as a way to deny the Viego going in along with the Leona, so I mean, I like it. I like the pick with Captain.
Yeah, there's not much else to say about this. I mean, there's no nuance on the side of Dirty Diet Boys. They've got the 2-3 people that can all jump in. They've got the Galio to follow up. Aside from that, it is a very one-note comp. It is if we stat check you pretty hard, if we hit our skill shots in the case of LeBlanc and Ezreal, we win. Last minute Goons, again, I feel like they're kind of playing not quite as on the back foot as last time, but they will not exactly be sitting pretty in this early game. They're more trying to stave off the snowball from Dirty Diet Boys. They do not want that Xin Zhao to get fed. They do not want any of the three laners, any of the three lanes to get any solo or 2v2 kills. At the end of the day, they're hoping that this Caitlyn can outscale. They're hoping the Caitlyn scales harder than the LeBlanc can burst. They're hoping that Shen and Leona can help peel, and they're hoping that Twisted Fate can find picks.
Well, it becomes a little bit harder with all of that, because, I mean, if I see an early game Viego and an early game Xin Zhao, I'll be honest with you, I give my money to this Xin Zhao only because the damage that Xin Zhao can deal out just early on, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane just to see it and then experience it. Like, if Xin Zhao even gets one kill, Plessro has to immediately give all the respect in the world, and that's just what do we say? Just the worst thing possible for Viego. Because now he has to look for like Ezreal.
We saw how Plethora played on the back foot, playing the weaker champion against the Nocturne. And while Xin Zhao has a little more nuance than Nocturne does to I'm just going to, press W on you and run you down, it's not that much different. Viego has some stuff that he needs to do. He's a much later game scaling champion. Xin Zhao can still 1v1 you at the early stages of the game. If Mac has the pressure that he did in game 1, if Plethora falls behind like he did in game 1, and I don't think we're going to see as insane of a level 1 with that 5v3 that we caught in the early stages, but I don't think you need that crazy of a fight to happen in the early game to see Dirty Diet Boys pulling away with this one from the jungle yet again.
Yeah, although, even though if they do win the early game, I think as long as Regdor stays safe, if Shen and TF can do their jobs of protecting the others from, certain ganks and everything like that, there is a pretty good chance that they can really win it. But then at the same time, if Shen has to use his Stand United, he's leaving the lane and leaving a Camille to just farm. So kind of a win-loss or win-win, just depending on can they secure a kill, can they not?
We are into the loading screen. We are into the game here between Dirty Diet Boys on the blue side and the last minute Goons on the red side. And coming in to this match at 1-0, coming off of a win last week, we have DDB. We got Bubba Gumps in the top lane on Camille, SGK Mac in the jungle on Xin Zhao, Peggins in the mid lane on LeBlanc, and in the bot lane, Pachatory and Captain Whiff on Ezreal and Galio.
Yep, and on the other side, we do have LMG. They are Chachi as the Twisted Fate, Plethora as the Viego, Cowboys as the Shen, Regdor and Sabina as the Caitlyn Leona. I'm not very sure on if it's going to be top lane TF. And guys, this is the wrong sides.
And if the bot lane of LMG backs here, and Dirty Diet Boys jumps on top, I'm gonna cry. But it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. It looks like Pachatory and Captain Whiff are just walking it down to the bottom lane, and they will be conceding this one, trading blue for red. Chachi looks like he is going to his home in the mid lane. I think both teams know. Both teams know that they're probably handshaking this one.
Yeah, this is such a weird start, really, just to see here. I mean, both teams just visiting each other. Shen could be in some. Nope.
Plethora did get a much better start here to that blue buff. He will not have used his smite. He'll use it on the Grump, but he will steal away 2 kills here. Meanwhile, Mac, yeah, he's actually caught with his pants down, so to speak. But now, assist ping's coming in. It's a level 2 versus level 2. Mac and Plethora playing Ring Around the Rosie. And now, looks like Plethora might be caught out. We've got Bubba Gumps here. Does he have the hook shot? I don't think he needs it. He's going to use that tactical sweep, and now OK Cowboys jumping in. The hook shot coming out for Bubba Gumps. Plethora will go down. First blood for Peggins. And OK Cowboys will have to run home and lick his wounds. Chachi just so slow on the uptake here.
Not only that, but that was just the most absolute greed I've ever seen from Viego. I
The
I guess he's
fact
expecting like just a full clear of his side, but that's not what happened. And he just sticks around way too long, and because of that, the response comes in, and that's just an easy first blood.
Yeah, I mean, you know that you're the weaker. You know you're the weaker early jungler. You know that you can't 1v1, yet you stay, you take the Gromp, and then you don't immediately flash the wall when you realize that Xin Zhao's there. I mean, it's disrespect at that point, and frankly, Plethora kind of threw his life away, threw over that mid lane to Pagans. And now Chachi is going to be at a significant disadvantage once Pagans goes back. Might even be before that. A lot of damage here, and now he will have to flash.
Yeah, this is just not going the way I think we would have expected it. Like at all. We thought, maybe this comp was a better, safer pick. They could easily ride and glide towards the later stages, and instead they're making these, I don't know, just greedy plays, I guess.
Yeah, I think the problem is it is still a better comp, a better put together comp, and a little bit safer in the early game. It's just they're getting cute with it, and when you're down at match point in this series, you can't afford to get cute with it. Even if, yeah, I mean, Chachi did have to go back. He bought his Amp Tome, and now he's trading well against Pagans, but Pagans has First Blood in his pocket. So, watch out. Chachi getting a lot of damage off. Pagans will find the root, and Plethora, he gets that Q. He gets the kill. A little bit of revenge on the LeBlanc that killed him.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why Pagans wants to go in there. It's like, he believes he can 1v1 Chachi, and, there's no doubt in my mind he possibly could have taken the kill there, but Plethora showing up at the right time and being patient. He didn't try and chase. He just waited, saw the pop, and got him.
Oh, Mac looks like he will be missing. That wind becomes lightning. Spends a lot of time bot lane and comes up empty. So a little bit of an unfortunate happenstance here for the Dirty Diet boys. Bubba Gumps, Cattle Boy, both trading back and forth. Little bit of damage. Shen just does so much in the early game when he gets his passive off and gets that grasp of the Undying.
Not to mention that there's also a cloth armor already, so any kind of damage the Bubblegums is wanting to do is just slightly being nullified. So he's just saying, "All right, on guard. I'll take you. I'll take you on anytime once more."
Yeah, note the Cattle Boys did go back. He is down 14 CS, but he did get both of those. Now, the stun coming in, the other stun coming in. Plethora's got a lot of damage, and Mac will have to back off.
Yeah, if Chachi gets caught by that chain there, it's probably over. I mean, that chain just barely missed, so pretty sure that that is one where Pagans is just saying, "That's my bad. If I land my serial chains, that's an easy kill." So.
Oh, and now the taunt comes in. Bubba Gumps has that ultimate, the Hextech Ultimatum. Cattle Boys can't finish the kill quite yet. He is very far ahead now in the 1v1 power, but Chachi in trouble. The Ignite coming down. Pagans, I think he got a little bit hyphy and accidentally flashed back. He was in no danger of dying, but he was in danger of killing Chachi.
Yeah, just I guess we can just say it's just a small warning, just a tiny little warning there. Just saying, like, hey, don't think you're all that, okay? I let you get that first kill, okay? It's a fluke, and that's what LeBlanc is just saying currently.
And stay out. Chachi is running back to lane, but he didn't get all of his health back. He does not have a flash. He does have the ultimate. His first dragon will go over to Mac and the boys in the bot lane. That Ocean Drake will help a little bit in lane sustain, especially for our friend here in the top lane, Bubba Gumps, who is taunted up. And okay, Cowboy's getting some damage, but he's trading much better now that he has a Sheen. Almost going even here, which bodes well for Camille in the later stages.
Yeah, but you can see they're sending 2 people up there. They're wanting to get this kill, quite possibly on the Bubba Gumpton. Bubba knows he could be in the most unfortunate of positions.
And there we go. Bubblegums has to flash away, but he's taunted up. Lot of damage. Okay, Cowboy's tanking it up, and Chachi will find his first kill of the game. A good controlled dive here. Pagan's waiting in the wings, but I don't think anyone's quite low enough for him to burst. Okay, Cowboys, though, he's going to try it, and immediately has to snap back.
Yeah, almost ends up getting the kind of fight that he wanted, but unfortunate that 2 people happen to be in the area. But very surprised Bubba decides to go in onto Plethora, even though they saw that both members were going together. It's mind-boggling to see that kind of decision there.
And now Viego looks like he is going to go for that Rift Herald, trying to solo it out, but he doesn't have Smite. There's the steal from Mac. And now the ultimate coming through. This stun will take the kill. Chachi gets the kill onto Mac, and now Bubba Gumps is walking on his own. What are you doing, man? You're running into 3. Not quite enough. The flash forward by Chachi will secure the kill. Good job, Chachi, on a killing spree. It is a 2-0.
You know, it could be just me, but Chachi in the mid lane and Cowboy in the top lane look a lot more comfortable. They're playing with a lot more confidence in it. Not only that, but very interesting that Mac and Bubba just decided to go for that kind of call. I don't understand that one there, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, Chachi actually had the rotation advantage there on Pagans for the first time, and I think Dirty Diet Boys were not quite expecting that to be the case. But the fact that Mac went in alone is another thing entirely. Bubba Gump walking them through. I don't know if he lagged. I don't know if he was just, not looking at his screen, but that ended up getting him killed. He did manage to pick up the Herald, however.
Did Mac just poke his head out of the bush accidentally there?
He might have. He might have. We will neither confirm nor deny the factual, the factualities of that statement.
I like it. Uh-oh.
And now Sabina goes in. Captain Whiff taking some damage, but there is not going to be a stun there. Now he goes forward. Plethora going to jump onto Pachatory, but we'll have to pull back immediately. Pachatory going to use the ultimate, but will not find a kill. Taking a lot of pot shots from Regdoris. And it will not yield a kill for either side. Now Pagans misses those ethereal chains and has to jump back, loses a trade against Chachi, but Mac's here. Mac is going to jump on top. He will flash forward. Chachi going to get a lot of damage, and there we go. Pagans with the shutdown. The shutdown in turn as Plethora takes down Pagans. Finds some damage off onto Mac and will jump forward again, but he won't be able to find any more.
Overall, I love that. I love Pagans knowing that he has the backup of Mac, and the only thing that kind of blew the tiny little hole into their plan was that instead of backing, Plethora just walks straight up and says, "Don't worry, I got you." So they at least get the 1-for-1 trade, but Pagans probably overall happy.
And now Bubba Gump trading onto OK Cowboys, but it's not going well for the Camille. She should be able to 1v1, but she's fighting in a minion wave. The flash forward, Cowboys, one more will get it as Bubba Gumps goes down for the 3rd time this game.
Yeah, Bubba Gumps is not feeling too good right now. He's probably thinking to himself just, man, I was that close to killing him. And he's right. He was very close to getting the kind of.
Mac might be in trouble.
Oh, there's the Destiny being called in behind.
Chachi, what are you doing, man? You went in behind. You're out of position. You are going to be rooted. You're going to be killed. Captain Whiff takes the kill here. Now Pachatory out of position as well. As Plethora gets the kill, he can move forward as the Ezreal. Got the Arcane Shift. Got the WQ. And it looks like a 1-for-1. But now Mac has to back off. He doesn't have the smite. So first dragon of the series here that goes into the pocket of last minute Goons.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Pachatory just happened to be the straggler. Their Plethora found him, got the kill. So, you know, Chachi's little mishap there wasn't for naught. I mean, I like the call. It was ambitious.
It was ambitious. That is the credit that we'll give it. But now it does look like last minute Goons is looking a lot better. They're 2,000 gold in the lead now. They've actually got some kills under their belt, 7-3, and they've even managed to build a slight CS lead for themselves in the top and the bot lanes. Cattleboy's doing so well for himself, just buying the the Ninja Tabi, and now Regdor out of position will have to flash, but they will live. Both bot laners will live.
Yep, the True Shot Barrage just splitting the middle there between both of them. And, you know, if just one flash was down, possibly they do secure the kill onto Regdor, but unfortunately that was not the case.
Cattleboy's getting a good trade off onto Bubba Gumps. Not surprising, considering he now has 2 armor items and a Bomby Cinder. Things will be very hard for the Camille in the 1v1 now.
Yeah, and wow, Pagans has missed a lot of these serial chains. I'm a little caught off there.
These trades would be going a lot better for him if he were consistently hitting them, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the one main goal is like, you know, you hit the serial chains, you walk down the golden brick road with them, you know, they get rooted and then you're happy. Regdor has to be careful.
Yeah, Pachatory doesn't have his ultimate. I was checking to see if he did, but he's very close to getting it back. So if Regdor backs,
they know.
Oh, they have Mac. They have Mac. They have Whiff, and now he's canceled his back. The ultimate's available. Is he channeling it? Here it comes, Regdor.
There it is.
Just shot right down. Now Plethora going to jump right on top of Mac as Chachi comes in. Captain Whiff, he's caught on the other side. He does not have a flash, but does he need it? Plethora coming in. There's OK Cattleboys. They're going to find one. Captain Whiff goes down. OK Cattleboys takes the kill as he jumps over the wall. Now chasing Pachatory. A lot of damage coming out. Actually, not that much. This is a tanky Shen. But at the end of the day, it is a 1-for-1. Regdor gets sniped by the True Shot Barrage, but they get Captain Whiff back.
Yeah, they commit so much as well. And, you know, they do leave the Camille up top just to farm. But luckily for them, there is no turret gold anymore. So Camille's not going to be finding a way back in as much as he would like it.
Oh, there we go. Pagans hits one. Chachi, blue card salute. Pagans taking some damage. But he does have his Luden's Echo now. A lot more damage here for him on this burst. Chachi going for the Everfrost. A little more traditional here for the Twisted Fate.
Yeah, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, about what we just witnessed bot side. They spent a lot of time just trying to zero down where Regdor was. Like, that's just kind of the ifs, ands, and buts about it. Like, if anyone were to ask, well, what went wrong in particular? Nothing went wrong. Just the rotations were there and the ultimates were up. So Stand United came up, Destiny came up. Captain Whiff was on the wrong side of the blast plan, and that's all that it was, really. I mean, at least it was a 1-for-1 trade overall, but you know, the Viego slowly starting to get more and more fed is not the sight that you want to see.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really where last minute Goons suffered a lot, I think, in the last game. They didn't have that much map presence because they were down one semi-global ultimate. Both teams had 2 teleports, but we saw a lot of teleports just kind of used willy-nilly to get back to lane and whatnot. They didn't have them available for all of those, like, you know, hey, everybody get the Goon squad in here. Now that we have the Destiny, now that we have the Stand United on the side of last minute Goons and no global repositions, or one semi-global reposition, But again, Galio is just not the same level of the same level of impact that a Shen can have on saving one of your carries. And now the Galio might be nope, he manages to get away. Just barely, but manages to get away. Now here comes Twisted Fate. He's gonna find Pachatory. Plethora moving forward, forces the arcane shift. Mac has to flash now. Okay, Cowboy's coming in, and here comes Bubba Gump. He's looking for Plethora, will not find him, but now Chachi caught on the other side of the fight. Regdor, he is caught. He's caught in the trap. There is the kill by Pegans. Okay, Cowboy's now on the run. The jump hook shot comes over the wall for Bubba Gump as he chases down and shuts down Sabina. Sabina now on the run as Plethora is dead on the other side. My mistake. It's a 3-0 as LMG is completely routed.
Yeah, and this time all the ultimates being used is just not enough. The responses are immaculate there.
Pegans one more auto, but he will not go down.
That was a little bit too close, and I'm pretty sure Pegans, again, it's just like, why can't I land it? It's just every time. It's so frustrating when you're a LeBlanc, and the one thing you're supposed to land, you can't land it at all.
And Bubba Gump, he will tank the turret here for 1, 2, 3 shots, and Mac will take the kill onto Chachi. It is, at the end of the day, a 4-0 in favor of the Dirty Diet boys. They're back even. This is a game on our hands.
And both teams don't want to let it go. Like, this is how the gold bracket or gold gauntlet should always be. Both games close, or at least one game close, just to make it more. Oh, wow. Plethora saved Regdor. That's the bottom line. That was a save by Plethora.
Plethora saved Regdor. Pegans didn't stick around for that chain to finish. Oh, but Regdor has to back now. That is the ADC off the map for now. This should give the Dirty Diet boys a little bit of room to start pushing in and maybe gain some control over this Baron. This is a much closer game, and Baron could certainly start to swing it here. We didn't see the Dirty Diet boys take it last game, even though they were very far ahead. This game, it might change because they actually need this turret pushing power. Plethora taking a lot of pot shots here from Pachatory. So is Sabina.
Yeah, they know where he is. They know where Plethora is. So, or almost know where he is. So I think they're just gonna go straight onto him.
Yeah, Bubba Gump will force Plethora away. And his team will come to meet him. Chachi looking for something, but that is going to be the Destiny Gate used without consequence. He has rejoined his team. He can go back to the mid lane, back to the bot lane where he was sitting, but he will have to use the teleport for that.
Yeah, and that kind of spell being used is not something you want to use so willy-nilly. So, Chachi right now is like, well, now I have to play it just a little bit more careful because if Pegans disappears off the map.
First turret goes down and the team fight starts. Pegans takes a lot of damage, has to jump out, and here comes Captain Whiff. They're getting Sabina very low, and Bubba Gumps will have to jump out of the fight. Sabina does not die. Captain Whiffs as well will go low, but not dead. Cowboy is now tanking some pot shots from Pachatory, but Pachatory respects the damage, respects the pick that Chachi can put out. Plethora gonna move forward. He will find some damage onto the Ezreal. The heal summoner is used, and Plethora goes down. Captain Whiff takes the kill. Pachatory now running from OK Cowboys, but the taunt has been used. It's a 1-for-0 now. The jungler down on the side of LMG.
Interesting call. Plethora knew he could take him out, but just doesn't account for the fact that there could be other members still lurking around from this small skirmish that broke out just 5 seconds ago. So, Pachatory's confident. He's just blasting away. He chucked down Plethora so much earlier in the game, so he's just like, all right, well, let's go again. And this time it pays out, and they're able to secure a kill onto the main focus of the team, which is the jungler Viego.
Yeah, now a slight gold lead here for the Dirty Diet boys. They won this fight. It was very scrappy, but they barely won it. And really, this was off of mistakes from LMG. LMG is doing quite well in these front-to-back team fights. It's just at the end. At the end, they seem to be making all of their mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that for them, they have the confidence to keep fighting and keep fighting. And, you know, we love to see that. But when your team is either all in or all out, you can't make those calls on your own. You have to have that kind of conversation with your other teammates, make sure that they're all on the same page. And every time that Plethora has gone in, it's gone in alone. And that's where the issues come in.
Yeah, now look at how tough it's going to be here for LMG to retake this dragon. 15 seconds until spawn. Okay, Cowboys does take that top tower, puts last-minute Goons on the board for towers here. But it is still going to be a tough sell. They have the ultimates to get in. They have Chachi pushing in the bottom lane. But will they be able to retake it? Plethora goes very low. He forces that stand united. Now Chachi jumps in. Regdor going very low. Has to use the summoner heal to get himself out. Chachi's here, but he doesn't have a team to follow up with him. It is no blood yet as Bubblegums jumps in. He has the Hex Tech ultimatum and he just chunks down that Twisted Fate. The flash coming out from Sabina as he tries to get away, will get over the wall, but it's a 1-for-0. And now Dirty Diet Boys has themselves their soul point.
And this is what costed them in their last game as well. Just a lot of discommunication. They're not communicating exactly what's going on. When your team is split up, you regroup. You don't try and go through the jungle to meet up with one another. The enemy team's not going to let you. So Regdor walking around with Sabina is like, okay, that's fine. But there's 5 other people there. You don't do that. It's natural sense to know when you walk into a jungle, when you don't, when you back away. So now Chachi has to use Destiny, then Chachi stays around, and he pays for the sins of Regdor and his own.
And at the end of the day, I credit fully Dirty Diet Boys' vision. They were playing so far up, but they had all of the entrances and exits that they were past in the jungle covered up. They knew that Plethora was coming in around that wolf camp, around the back of the wolf camp, so they were able to jump on him, deal so much damage, and force him to run away, effectively turning it into a 4v5. Then seeing Regdor move forward after they pushed onto Plethora, they were able to turn around, jump on him instead. They forced out 2 of the strongest, most valuable members of the team fight for last-minute Goons. And after that, you can just knock the entire house of cards down, and eventually it culminates in Chachi jumping in, getting hit with the Hex Tech ultimatum, and his team wasn't there to follow up. So a good, well-played, slow team fight here by Dirty Diet Boys that gets them to their soul point in a very similar position to what we saw them in last time in terms of objectives.
Yeah, and they have the 1k gold lead currently, and they're almost at infernal soul point, or they're almost on just having the soul entirely. They're on the soul point now, so they can't make any more of these mistakes. If Regdor has to back again, if Destiny's Gate has to be used defensively, it's gonna cost them a lot. So they have to play a lot more careful, a lot more smart on the side of Last Minute Goons if they want to prevent the Ezreal, prevent the now Magi Spellbook LeBlanc from really getting back there and really starting to pop a lot of people.
Yeah, and look at the anti-healing that they have on the side of Dirty Diet Boys. They've got Pegans, who has been spreading his anti-healing so well with that Grievous, or with the Luden's Echo, and the fact that he just double splashes on everyone. There isn't too much healing on the side of Last Minute Goons. I mean, it's mostly just Plethora, and then what little that Regdor has built into his kit. But it's keeping them from getting away on slivers of health. That's the main thing. You just keep you keep the heal from being used. You keep Plethora from just tanking up a ton of damage, drain tanking a ton of damage. Meanwhile, there's only 1 Grievous Wounds as well on the side of Last Minute Goons, but it's much harder to get off. Okay, Cattle Boys with the Bramble Vest, you have to have someone actively auto-attacking you, which is a lot harder when you're trying to prevent, say, Ezreal healing, or Camille healing when she's not even attacking you in the first place. She's jumped on one of the carries.
Oh yeah, 100%. And not only that, but if they want to go towards her, she has a Hextech ultimatum. She can just push you guys away, which will just waste more time and give her teammates more time to get to her. So it's not like, you know, you can really hop onto Bubba Gums and you just be like, all right, we can 100% take her out before she can start healing back up. We can 100% take out Mac. They have a lot of these guys that can fend for themselves just a little longer until Captain Whiff is in the area or Pagans gets behind and, you know, takes Regdor from full health to like 50 HP. It's very dangerous. They're in very dangerous waters now, especially since, as you said, there's only like the 2 people that have the anti-healing.
Yeah, so we've got 45 seconds until this final Infernal Drake could be up. Mac is already around. He's got Bubba Gumps waiting in the wings, just sitting in this tri-brush. They are trying to keep everyone away from them, and now Regdor is caught. He's fully caught, and he is dead. Pachatory with the kill. OK Cowboys already has to waste the Stand United. Stun comes down onto Ezreal, but there is no follow-up. OK Cowboys doing some damage. Chachi, he's going to go down. That's both main carries. And now Plethora is on the run. LeBlanc will snap back, and here comes Bubba Gumps. He has the Hextech ultimatum. I don't think he wants to use it. He's just going to sweep them to death as DDB sweeps the enemy team. It's a 3-0. Cattle Boys might make it 4, but it looks like there are bigger sights for DDB. They're going to go for that Drake. They're going to take their second soul here, and they're going to put themselves so far ahead in this series.
Cattle Boys has the Bramble Vest, and Patrick's story is still chasing him down. The tank is being chased down by the Ezreal, just being poked down constantly, and it's fair to say this is just, you know, positioning. Like, you're being caught out of position, you're making these very silly mistakes that you weren't making in the early stages, and it's starting to come back to haunt you.
Oh, Cattle Boys, he missed the flash taunt, and Pachatory didn't even have to flash away either. That just adds insult to injury now. Almost 4,000 gold down here for last minute Goons. They lost the soul for the second time in this series, and this game is just starting to slip out of their hands. Ezreal is massive. You said he was running down a Shen who's built 2 full armor items and armor boots, and he didn't have a care in the world.
I mean, the only 2 people that were alive was Sabina and Cowboys at the end of the team fight there. If those are the last 2 alive, either there's 3 things happening. A, the tanks are not being in the fight at all, so they're not doing their job. That's not the issue here. They're doing exactly what they need to. Number 2, you're out of position and not giving your Shen time to save you, or your Leona a good time to use her solar flare, or 3, or C really, all of the above. And, you know, I don't like to actually break down all the things that are just wrong, but they're just so far out of position every time, and it's costing them so much when they had a lead.
I would like to add a C part 2 to your evaluation. You're playing against 3 diving assassins. Yes, you know, yes, Regdor was horribly out of position in that last fight. You know, and I think that was pretty much, that should have been where the fight ended. All of LMG should have just said, you know what, screw it. Like, we're not going to give up 3 more kills. We're just gonna walk away. They can have the soul. But then the rest of the team continued to go in, and like, yeah, there's only so much you can do against assassins. You can keep trying. You can, you know, you can just position safer, position more respectfully, you know, give up small advantages so that you can actually get a good position in a fight. At the end of the day, Sabina needs to do, you know, Sabina needs to do their job. OK Cowboys needs to do their job, and Regdor just needs to not die. That's like the win condition at this point for LMG. If Regdor doesn't die, you can pump out damage. There is one armor item on each of the 2 priority carries. That will go away pretty quickly after Caitlyn hits 3rd item. That's not going to matter nearly as much after Caitlyn hits 3rd item. The problem now for LMG is getting to the 3rd item, because you're falling so far behind, and now with a 4K gold lead and a bunch of assassins, Dirty Diet Boys, I mean, they just want to keep pushing their advantage, and like you see them over forcing here, and ends up wasting an ultimate cooldown. But there's nothing that LMG can do to stop them afterward. They can just say, okay, well, at least we're going to get that cooldown.
Yeah, and you know, what more can you do? Like, you know, Captain Whiff out here, he's just like, you know, I could come in and be perfectly fine. And you have 2 tanks that are in there for about an hour and a half, but they're not being focused. And, you know, if they keep getting picked off, if they keep getting these small opportunities happening, it's gonna be over. And I mean, it's gonna be over very quickly. And well, Plethor's about to find that out.
Yep, and here we go. Regdor taking a lot of damage. Mac on a killing spree, and Regdor, he has used both of his summoners and still may die. There goes the Stand United. That's a lot of damage onto Pachatory, but there's no consistent damage to follow up. Okay, Cattleboys has been interrupted in the Stand United. He's going to get soloed out by Bubba Gumps as he runs under the turret, puts him to unstoppable. The Zanya's coming out by Chachi. It's not going to be enough. There goes Sabina. Regdor's the last one standing, and there he goes. It's an ace for the Dirty Diet Boys as they clean up the last-minute Goons. We're going to see the Dirty Diet Boys in quarterfinals in the next week as they start running their bracket, making their 2nd win in this bracket. We will see them next week in the Gauntlet.
And what a beautiful way to end it off. Florida Dirty Diet Boys having a rough start and then finishing it up as beautifully as they could. That was a great way for them to really say, we can be down, but we're never going to be out. We're never going to sink down. We are so far gone.
Yeah, they took a snowballing comp, and they went even in the early game against a scaling comp, and then they pulled ahead and won. They had better map control, they had better team fights, they had better vision, and they positioned better around that vision. And they truly showed that they were the better team in this series.
Yeah, not to mention, one thing that me and you kind of skipped off of, Camille didn't die a single time after her 3rd death. And that was in the early stages, still in laning phase. That's not good. That's not good.
No, Dirty Diet Boys, they managed to pull out all the stops here. They had a very solid team comp, a very good snowballing team comp game 1. This game wasn't really even a team comp. It was a series of champions that all of them, when they put it together, they were able to assassinate the priority targets. They found Plethora and Regdor out of position God knows how many times. And they were able to shut down Chachi after he got that early 3-kill lead.
It's just tough, you know? Like, you can see they had the makings there, and honestly, I do love all of these ambitious plays that they went for, you know, but at the end of the day, who can really execute it just a little bit better, a little bit smarter? And not saying that LMG did not do what they had to, because they played great, but we saw one team was able to execute better off of mistakes. They were, in my opinion, more communicated, and they were able to secure it.
Yeah, and I will say it is kind of unfortunate. Chachi is not, in fact, a starting member of Last Minute Goons. So unfortunately, they were missing a little bit of the, a little bit of the synergy, a little bit of communication there. And I think we really saw the brunt of that in game 1. But game 2, I gotta say, that was a hell of a glow up for LMG. Just drafting the global comp and executing it so well in the early game. Unfortunately, the wheels came off when it came down to the team fights, and it came down to that positioning and communication as a team. But congratulations to Dirty Diet Boys for moving on to the quarterfinals in the Gauntlet, running from the bottom of the Gauntlet, and now they're in the middle. We'll see what they can do next week. And thank you, Last Minute Goons, for participating in the GRLCS, making it to playoffs, and being a formidable opponent in the Gauntlet. Next week, join us again as we come back in for the Dirty Diet Boys versus their adversaries in the next week, which are a team that Cosmic Flow, who beat them last time they went up against each other. So look forward to that next week. But for now, I have been Vid, joined by Asami. Thank you everyone for watching tonight, and get wrecked.